everyone, and welcome to a brand new video. Guys, this is a real freaking doozy that I have for you right now. Basically, the reason why you're seeing this and not gameplay is because literally there is so much information in this forum post that I just don't even know what to say. Basically, if you don't know, a couple days ago I uploaded this video right here called Zippcast's new ownership. And yeah, long story short, it caused quite a bit of controversy throughout the community. It has 101 comments right now. It says it has 101 comments, but really it had so many more comments. I think it had probably about like 30 or 40 more comments actually at one point, but it looks like a lot of people actually, or maybe Lewis, maybe it was quite a few people, I don't really know, but some people deleted their comments. I literally remember there being about 130 comments on this video, but basically after I made this video, Lewis joined in and pretty much all of Zippcast joined in, and now we're here. Basically, Spider-Fan collected pretty much all of these comments. I don't even know how this guy did this, or how he even had the time or dedication to do this, but just say thank you to Spider-Fan real quick. I'm just giving Spider-Fan a quick shout out for doing this. Literally, he went through every single post, every single reply, every single post, everything, put them in chronological order of information, and put them all in this forum post. That is like ultimate dedication. So with that out of the way, let's just get straight into the forum post. It says, I thought about posting this info in the old Return of Zippcast thread, but as to avoid confusion, I've started with a new one. With that out of the way, let's get into the juicy stuff. First off, after months of speculation, Zippcast came back again. Then a while later, Crafting21 posted this video, which this video in question is the new info on Zippcast video that I uploaded with the new ownership and yada yada yada. Basically, if we go back here, he says, after that I was in the VBF Discord where I talked to the new head of Zippcast, Alex. Apparently he'd been in the Discord before, as AM, the head of VBF, introduced me to him. I had then obtained a lot of info with my conversation with him. Then I posted it here and then to the Metal Jolt forums. Yesterday, as of writing this, Crafting21 made a follow-up video with info that I posted, which was, of course, the video in question, Zippcast's new ownership. And being that video was embedded from YouTube, I figured I'd take a look at the discussion going on there. You can also read this info on the Metal Jolt forums. Just go to page 2 and scroll until the transcripts. A lot of this happened simultaneously, and it was weird, so that's why the transcripts are a bit jumbled in order. I mean, they are a little bit jumbled in order, but mostly it's in chronological order. So how about this? Let's just zoom in just a little bit, and let's have a little read through. Basically, let's just read some of the great posts that were made on my video, starting with Knower's comment saying, I have some thoughts I'd like to share. I believe that Alex and DJ are just Lewis in disguise. If so, then I warn everyone to stay clear from Zippcast. I'm predicting that Lewis is really the only team, that Alex and DJ are fake. Come on, very casual names, a bit obvious. If Zippcast is really run by the two new owners, I would be surprised. I don't know. I'm calling it now. Alex and DJ aren't real. And then Lewis came into the picture. Lewis found my video, and he said, that's because they aren't. I have no idea who they are. I would also like to know. People are just taking advantage of the situation. It's kind of hard to read Lewis's comments sometimes. And he says, I called it. Knowers says, I called it. And I would just like to tell you to grow up, Lewis. And Lewis says, grow up for what? Coming here to straighten all of the insane conspiracies out is entertaining at best. Knower says, bro, we all know what you've done to your staff. You've shut down your website like 5 times, you've lied to your staff, lied to the community, and you've lied to yourself. Just leave while you can. You dug your grave, now lie in it. Hashtag Team Metajolt. And then Lewis replies, I have? Please explain. Last time I remember, that last team on Zippcast left before it shut down 2 months later. Lol, are you guys kidding me? I never had any lawyers to have the posts removed. I asked Rick and Alex/Mac to correct it, and even kept screen caps of the text messages just because I knew this would go on. And I actually saw this screenshot. Basically Lewis just said the same thing that to Alex that he told us, like, who are they talking about, Alex and DJ? Anyway, Then he also goes on to say, what is this blacklist I keep hearing about? If I'm supposed to be developing a blacklist, someone please let me know. Also, the post on Facebook was posted a day before the post on VideoNation. The post on the Facebook, as I'm told, was in response to your video, Crafting Lord 21, uploaded here. So no, Spider-Fan, I wasn't attacking you. My text messages were asking someone to give you the correct information. I would have done it myself, but I'm barred from ever joining VideoNation, so I respect it. I would also appreciate proof showing that I was involved in any DDoS attacks against the mentioned targets. This is also news to me, as it's not like I disappeared. I've been involved with other projects such as Buffaloing. I don't know how to say that. Let's just whatever that is. Whoever knows what that is, yeah, you can let me know. Then Knowers replies with, Hey, they left because you treated them like crap, and all these ZipTubes account were popping up on VidBit. Basically confirms your immaturity, but to be fair, I shouldn't be talking about immaturity. After all, I'm under 18, but I already know that I am more mature, and while we can't confirm you DDoSed the sites, you are a prime suspect, and besides, it's just a rumor. I dare you to put me on your Zippcast blacklist. I freaking dare you. And Lewis replies with, what is this blacklist everyone is talking about? 1, I don't have a blacklist. 2, never treat staff like poop. 3, please don't question someone's maturity when you don't actually know the person. Doesn't really make you mature. 4, prime suspect. Okay, detective, totally haven't been busy with work, family, and other projects. You have any idea how illegal such actions are? Why would I risk jail time? 5, honestly never used VidBit. I have talked to the owner. Unfortunate he had to close shop, but I'm thankful he is redirecting his domain to Zippcast. Oh, I just remembered that as I was reading that. And 6, I still want to know more about this blacklist. Knowers then replies, you would spend time in prison because you hated the idea of alternatives to Zippcast. Look, I'm not arguing right now. I'm busy eating dinner. Lewis says, not when I have kids. That's stupid. I'm not the one arguing. I believe you are. Still haven't provided proof of this blacklist. Very amusing, I must say. And I don't hate the idea. I say embrace the number of alternative video sharing sites out now. I'd like to think that Zippcast sort of started the rebellion. It all started with ZipTube. I think it's great that there's many to select from now. It gives content creators more opportunities. Nothing wrong with that. And these comments were started by a thread from Mr. A.T. Andre Thomas. Lewis says, lol, are you guys kidding me? I never had any lawyers to have the post removed. I asked Rick and Alex/Mac to correct it. Yep, that's basically what we heard before. There's the blacklist thing again. And then Spider-Fan says, find it funny how you mention me. Why should anyone believe anything you say? You've been exposed multiple times. And then Lewis says, I have yet to see any proof of your accusations. I provided proof to make some of your claims wrong. Like how I sicked some type of lawyer on your post. Can I get proof of this blacklist you guys speak highly of? It sounds interesting. Spider-Fan then replies, for one thing, you lied about why you shut down Zippcast in the first place. You lied about not being around when Metajolt was DDoS back in 2016. I have an archive from our talk from last year on VideoNation. Anyone can see you were totally exposed. Lewis said, I lied about not being around. I was working on another project, which was that thing again. I've been active in an augmented reality game called Ingress. I also have a family and work full time. Can you provide full proof on this DDoS? I would love to see the IP log as all the servers will show, if it really happened. I also don't understand how I lied about shutting Zippcast down. I did say I was shutting it down. A little confused. Totally exposed? Not really. And after that, Lewis proceeded not to post any more comments. Continuing that same thread, then a new competitor named Alec joined the scene, saying, you also didn't provide information on the proof to me when I asked. Instead, you probably cried and had me banned because I was challenging you. Even Matt too called you out and you ignored him. That proof is invalid. All of that information you're making up. Which, I just looked at the proof to remind myself of what it was, and it was about the DDoSing thing that happened on the VBF launch stream with Osama bin Laden and blah 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 blah. And Spider-Fan said I'm not making up anything. And then Alec replied, then why couldn't you provide proof to me on VideoNation? Let's see. Instead, you got me banned for challenging you. Spider-Fans then replied, when did I get you banned? The evidence is that someone named Osama bin Laden was in the VBF chat trolling, and then they came to my channel and trash-talked me on the subject of Zippcast. The stream was then DDoSed mysteriously. Coincidence? I think so. Alex said, you got me banned off VidiNation for questioning you. Matt2 says, that proof is invalid. All this information you're making up. I think that was a quote. I think he was actually quoting Alec there. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look back on that. How is he oh yeah, he is. I didn't read the next line. Matt2 said, that proof is invalid. It's all information you're making up. He says, here, how is that information he's making up? The fact that Lewis's evidence is invalid. I should just start that over. I should just restart the sentence over. This is how you know these videos are unscripted. It says, how is it that he's making up the fact that Lewis's evidence is invalid when the dates do not line up? Sorry, but he is right about that. Let me make it clear to compensate for his poor logic. He didn't prove Lewis DDoSed the site. He proved that Lewis lied about being busy when it happened. He then leapt to the conclusion that Lewis must have thusly done it, as Lewis would not have a reason to lie about it if he didn't do it. Spider-Fan says, thanks, Matt. By the way, Alec, I did not get you banned from VidiNation. I didn't know who you were up until 20 minutes ago when you revealed yourself. Oh, and don't think it stops there. It only continues. Spider-Fan then said in the comments, once I saw Jerkface was around, I wanted to start my own thread to directly fight him. This is also the thread where Alec revealed himself. And so the thread started with Spider-Fan saying, Jerkface, where are you? And Lewis said, and this is actually kind of funny, this is like the one thing I find funny from Lewis. He said, if you're referring to me, I will proudly accept that as a name tag. I can see myself now, walking around the office with my name tag, Mr. Jerkface. That is actually kind of hilarious. But Spider-Fan then says, you know why I call you that? Allison exposed you and nobody believed him until it was too late. You didn't take a liking to that name when you banned your most loyal user. Then Lewis said, most loyal user? You were active, yes. Loyal? What is this, a cult? I don't think of anyone as loyal. Maybe well respected, and those are people whom are the real troopers. People who've supported the project for years and continue to do so. Of course, for those who don't know, Spider-Fan defended Lewis and the community of Zippcast against WeNew and V-streamers, and really he just defended Lewis on a lot of things, and then, you know, Allison's theory on Lewis was right. But anyways, after all that, Spider-Fan then said, see, you don't appreciate what I did for the community of Zippcast. I defended you against the sites of WeNew and V-streamers. When it ended up, you became what everybody said you were, a jerkface. Alec then said, I remember using the phrase jerkface in elementary school. I think there's a maturity issue that you need to resolve. Then Spider-Fan said, well, I came up with that name for Allison off the top of my head, and with Lewis here, it's stuck. There's no denying that he is, if that's what you're trying to do. And then Alex said, tell me something. Do you personally know him? And then Spider-Fan said, know who, Allison? And then Alex said, Lewis. Spider-Fan then said, I don't know him personally, but I am familiar with the closing of Zippcast, and that Jerkface lied about it. I cannot talk right now. Alec then said, then you have no room to talk. You know I'm Alec, right? I personally knew the guy, and I can tell you right now he wasn't lying about anything he said. You're just all inconsiderate. Let's see. Actually, I believe I was with him leading up to the last shutdown, and it was becoming too much. You have no room to talk about anything, saying he's a jerk, etc. when you don't know the guy. Then Spider-Fan said, I just found out you were Alec because he said so. Up until that, I didn't know who you were. I totally have room to talk because Jerkface stabbed me in the back, just like everyone else. And then this is when Matt2 showed up. Matt2, I think, made his own thread. Yeah, this was his own thread. Matt2 said, I see the supposed new staff is doing a crap job of keeping Lewis away from all the social media. Alec then said, if you'd read, you'd see there's no new owner. It's me, Alec, Lewis, and Austin, like he said below. Spider-Fan said, oh, you're the guy who false DMCA'd VidiNation. Now your comments on VidiNation make sense. Alex said, not false when you own all the content and the name, buddy, but what do you know? Spider-Fan then said, then why were your DMCA notices completely thrown out? Matt 2 said, were they? Why did they have to rebrand if they were? Alex said, because anyone can lie and get them thrown out. You could even use your zero logic comments and get the notices thrown out. Spider-Fan then said, it's been a while. You'd have to ask Mac what happened exactly. Matt 2 then said, didn't you keep sending them after they rebranded though? Spider-Fan only said they were completely thrown out. This does not seem to be true, but not entirely untrue either. Spider-Fan then said, again, it's been a while. Everyone celebrated because the site stayed around and was unchanged outside of a new logo, and even that was something that apparently was going to be done eventually anyway. This next one was part of another thread that Mr. AT started. I picked the ones out that were relevant to the conversation. Alex said, thank you for sticking up for me on VidiNation. I was a former Smurf there. That was actually really nice. Matt 2 said, who, me? And then Alex said, yep, with a screenshot. Matt 2 then said, I was merely annoyed with Spider-Fan's poor logic. Alex said, well, thank you for calling him on it. I hate when he runs his mouth when he has no logic. Spider-Fan then says, the Zippcast team really hates me. That's hilarious because the old team loved me. Matt 2 then said, that's because they're Lewis's lackeys instead of actual people who have at least half a brain to know that Lewis's actions need to be put into question. Lewis will eventually betray them like everyone else. And that is where the thread ends. There is a couple of new comments here that I should mention real quick probably. I actually haven't read some of these yet, so it'll be kind of a surprise to me. Matt 2 here says, by the way, this Alec guy refused to mute the thread me and Mr. AT were discussing. We're discussing his behavior on because he doesn't want people talking behind his back. I suggested that he Google himself more often, but he didn't respond. You know, the only way to settle this beyond a shadow of a doubt is for someone to bring it up on the Zippcast forums when the site is, wait, how are you blacklisted when the site isn't even up yet? Oh no, this is not good at all. That's even more confusing. Then Spider-Fan replied to him, yeah, things are a mess. I would assume the blacklist contains an interesting group of people considering where things were just a year ago. We can assume I am on it as well as Mac, which has already been discussed as well as yourself. I know that Knowers thinks he's on it, which is probably more or less accurate. I would think that Channel even is on it based on the fact that he has been vocal about how bad Zippcast is and how great Metajolt is. Because of his friendship with me, I think Benny is probably on the list, but I don't know for sure. Mr. AT is most likely on it as well. So with that, we have Spider-Fan, Maclar4000, Matt 2, Knowers, Sub-Zero Applesauce or Sub-Zero Apocalypse, Channel Even, and Mr. AT Andre Thomas on the blacklist. And that is just a potential list. Anyone else come to mind? And that is absolutely everything that has been mentioned in my comment section, and I just find it absolutely crazy that of all the places that all this crap happened, this was in my comment section. It's completely ridiculous. It was actually really completely stupid, but in all honesty, I really honestly don't know what to think of all this new info. So the new team that has been mentioned, which was Alex and DJ, are apparently not real, and some other guy that nobody's ever heard of before named Alec and what's his face? What was he called again? And Austin. That's their names. Apparently it's not Alex and DJ anymore. It's Alec, who we've never heard of before, and Austin, who we've also never heard of before. And for my thoughts on the blacklist, I just don't know. It's like the site isn't even up yet, and there's already a supposed blacklist that is on there. If this blacklist is real, then my god, that is just horrible. But in all honesty though, considering the type of crap that Zippcast has done before, I honestly would not be surprised if the blacklist was a real thing, because let's be honest here, those people that were mentioned on that blacklist sort of list that we have on, or that blacklist list, that was redundant. The people that we have on that blacklist, you know, Spider-Fan, Maclar, Matt 2, Knowers, Sub-Zero, and Channel Even, and Mr. AT, those are all people who have been vocal about how bad Zippcast was when it shut down and how much of a crapshoot it was at the time it shut down, and how much of a jerk Lewis was when he shut down his website and betrayed the whole community. So with those 7 people being so vocal about how bad Zippcast was, is it just a coincidence that they're on that blacklist? I really don't think so. Heck, I know it's only a matter of time before I'll be on that blacklist and I won't even get to try out the closed beta. But all in all, I really don't know what to think of this whole thing. The whole thing is just a freaking mess. There's now 2 new owners, along with Lewis, that we haven't even heard about. And apparently just everything's just so random about it. The fact that there's a blacklist before the site's even come up yet. This new staff, which really it's still a new staff. I've never heard of Alec. I've never heard of Austin. Like, who are they? The whole project is just a big freaking mess. But anyway, that'll be about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to become a crafting lord. This is Crafting Lord 21, and I'll see you guys in the next video.